am um, in Florida, which is why I recommend a lot of people to go. Uh, like I said, you almost by the Caribbean, so right there with our ancestor ocean, at least on that side of what they call the Atlantic Ocean, um, that Caribbean, you got that pyramid in the water. Um, so it emits um, high frequencies of celestial energy is what it'll be called on this planet. And this celestial energy clears up those genetic CGI computer generated images that we have been seeing forever that you see in sky or you think it's the sky. So when you that deep, the basically the sky is a lot clearer, so you can see more of these portals and dimensions and realities, and alternate. Well, basically there are portals that lead to alternate realities and dimensions and planets and different universes and realms. These dots in the sky that you have been taught to call stars. All right, so this genetic history of astrology and astronomy that has been taught to us in school and by our oppressors is the reason why we didn't know what the fuck, why most people don't know what the fuck the blood moon was really all about. The super flower blood moon, as we should call it, as they called it, okay? So, I'm not gonna flip the camera around because I don't want the sound. Which when I flip the camera around, y'all see I can't hear the sound. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you all the images. But let's note something real quick. So right now, I'm reading from CBS News. I'm on CBS News website. All right, I'm gonna bring the camera closer for you all to see what I'm reading, but I'm gonna read it out loud first. All right. So on CBS News, they had said, rare super flower blood moon lunar eclipse captured in stunning photos from around the world. This article was written by Sophia Lewis on May 30th, 2021 at 7:56 a.m. All right. Now, let's see what they had to say. Sky watchers around the world were treated to the most spectacular full moon of the year in the early AM hours on Wednesday, May 26th marked not just a super moon, but also a lunar eclipse or a so-called blood moon. Okay, so what you had was a lunar eclipse and a super moon all in one, which is why they called it a super flower blood moon. That's what they said, super flower blood moon. Keep the name in your head what they're calling this thing here, super flower blood moon. Now, this is the esoteric university where we state real cosmic facts. We guys in here. There was never no motherfucking moon in our sky, nigga. We never had a moon, and if you go read the old Shaka Zulu memoirs, they'll talk about how when they were at war with our oppressors, it was never a moon in the sky down here. The moon came out of nowhere, they say. They just looked up and it was in the sky one day. Facts. Go read or go do the research about where the moon came from. It doesn't have a origin. It just appeared in the sky down here one day. Now, keep that in mind. Why is that important? Because the moon is fake. All right? The moon. Now, let me clear something up for you. Do moons exist? This should be the question, right? And my response to that question would be yes, moons exist. Now, the moon you see in your sky, however, is not real. The moon you see down on this planet in the sky is not real. Okay? That moon is a holographic image, a replica of the moon that they have back on their home planet on Earth. Alright? Now, we do have real moons that we created, and this is where the moon on Nern comes from. Because remember, Nern was created by Satan, aka Zeus, after we kicked him off of this planet. So when he went to Nern, he went to the sixth universe, he made his own planet. Alright? But he still replicated what he had saw us doing. Because remember, he was one of the original 24 scientists. He was the head scientist. So he made replica moons, but he never could replicate the sun. All right, that's why when he created human beings, the Caucasian race, he wasn't able to give them souls. He replified them. He made a replica of us by making his creation still in our image, but he wasn't able to grant them souls. All right, so it's the same thing with the moon. He isn't advanced enough, although advanced, he isn't advanced enough to create his own version of the moon, so he had to make replica moons. So he made replica moons on Nern. Alright? So the replica moons on Nern come from how our real moons look on other planets and other universes. That's what you need to know about the moon. Okay? Now, the moon on Nern is a replica. Now, when they came here and conquered this planet, they made holographic images of the moons back home on Earth. So, basically, these are holographic images of the replicas back home on the planet Earth. This is a holographic image you see. They literally control it. That's why they can make it a quarter moon, half moon, full moon, whatever, right? New moon, right? They can tell you when it's going to be. The reason they can do that is because they literally turn the moon on, off, they alter it. All right, it's a light. This is what they turn the light halfway on, it makes a half moon. They turn the light all the way out, it makes a new moon. All right, so now most of the masses are unaware that on the moon is the actual base of scientists. NASA scientists, they sitting on this moon and they're literally using the moon to conquer souls. Alright? They use the moon to lure souls away from their transcendence and lure them back into this false hope that this soul will believe lies behind this light, this moonlight. If the soul has deep, fond memories of religion and them being told about heaven and going into the light. Okay, stay with me. So, this is what the moon has been used for. Now, since 2020, we have been at war. The Kundalini energy is rising amongst us. The Kundalini energy is rising on the planet. So as a result of this, all right, what you see is this grand awakening. You see this grand awakening. 1 second, y'all. 1 second. You see the Kundalini energy rising in the community. All right. So by the Kundalini energy rising in the community, you know, they had to do something. They had to do something to change, you know, the course of what was going on. So what did they do? They decided to alter the frequency of the moon. Okay, so they decided to alter the frequency of the moon. And why did they alter the frequency of the moon? Because the moon is anti-photon energy. Remember that APE technology, anti-photon energy. All right? The sun gives us photon energy. All right? We receive downloads to the pineal gland from the sun that strengthens you. Your chromosomes within you are nothing but many suns. All right? Same thing the sun can do, your chromosomes can do. All right? So when you have carbon or you're a neuromelanated being, the sun strengthens you. If you are a melanated being, the sun weakens you. All right? If you are a melanated being, the moon strengthens you. If you are a neuromelanated being, the moon weakens you. All right? This is the science. The moon's light is hard for, you do me a favor, log in real quick. Make sure the live rolling good still. Alright. But the moon's, thank you. The moon's, the moon's light is, it's harmful to plant life. And it's harmful to the planet. This is why the oceans, the waters, our ancestor reacts violently to its rays. The ocean reacts very violently. It becomes agitated, so agitated that the tides, the waves begin to rise. Okay, the waves begin to rise. You know, the waves begin to rise. And they tell you the tide is rising. But in actuality, that's how, remember, ocean is our ancestor, one of the titans, one of the original titans. So, you know, he becomes agitated when the moon is out. When it's a full moon, the APE is turned up. They turn it up so it radiates brighter, and that's when the tide rises. You know, that's when the ocean gets very violent. But this is why also the blood within you reacts violently. Your heart rate speeds up. The blood boils within you a little more when it's a full moon because the moon emits. It's not a natural thing. It's like a light bulb that's emitting harmful rays into the tank, because this is like a tank. By them sealing off the top of it with the 5 layers of sky, they turned it into like a fishbowl. So basically, you living in like a fishbowl right now. And this moon, when it's turned on, it emits harmful rays to the planet. Okay, so you see the gods, us, we get more violent, more aggressive when it's a full moon. You see human beings, because the moon makes them stronger, you see them definitely get more aggressive because of this moon, this technology. And it's imperative that you understand that first, the root, like that's the root. All right. They understand what the moon is to know that it's not real. It's not a natural thing. It's not a natural thing. This is not a natural thing. So they control it. Okay, so with this super blood moon, they controlled it. They created it. All right. And I mean, I don't have to show pictures. I mean, I can show pictures, but y'all seen it. I don't want to show the pictures because the pictures are actually harmful. I'll show it real quick just to show one, but these pictures are really harmful. I'll tell you why. You see it? Cool. All right, now I'll tell you why the pictures are harmful. All right, because this blood moon, the reason they call it a blood moon, because we haven't destroyed them yet. We haven't destroyed all of them yet. We haven't destroyed the people up on the moon yet. We haven't done that yet. We still at war with them. All right, so this blood moon, and if you look it up, they've been having blood moons. This blood moon is called a blood moon because they literally use the blood of kids. All right, they sacrifice certain kids. And remember, the moon is the actual center where they control it. So they paint the surface of the room. They take the projector in the room. They paint the surface of the room with the blood of the kids, and they turn on, because the moon is literally like a button. They turn it on and off. They just turn on the screen to vibrate that color. So what you see down here is a purple, or orangish moon, or a reddish moon, and they call it a blood moon. But they using these kids' blood, so that's adrenochrome. All right, that's all negative energy, and then they showing you the color red, which makes you naturally more aggressive. So they're lowering the frequency, and remember, it's anti-photon energy, and they call it super because it was so big. So what made it so big was because they just move it closer to the planet. All right, to make it look smaller, they just move it further from the planet. If they want it to look bigger, they move it closer to the planet. So they just move it closer to the planet, and now it was full, and it was pushing all that negative anti-photon energy onto the planet. And think about how the moon affects the planet, and it affects us, and it affects everything. Okay, so what I want y'all to notice is, what day was this super blood moon? It was May 26th. And you'll see the elites, gematria, they write their numbers on anything they do. They gonna always tell you through their numbers. 526, what they add up to? What's 5 plus 2? 7. What's 7 plus 6? 13. I'll do it again. May 26, 526. That's the date of this super blood moon, was 526. Anything the elites do, they gonna put their numbers on it. 13, look for threes, because understand the power of the 3, 6, and the 9 is us. So anything Zeus has ever done was to mimic us. He took all of our stuff and just flipped it. He flipped it, and tried to make it, use it for his own shit. All right, so 526 adds up to what? 13. All right, so I want you to notice that, first off. All right, now that you notice that, the reason they had to come with the super blood moon, the whole purpose of it was to lower the frequency of the entire realm, because the frequency has been rising so high. Okay, so they did that, and then they sent their mercenary groups out to make sure that they created stories for the media that was going to further lower the frequency. So what are the results of this blood moon? Let's pay attention. Let's go to Chicago. After this blood moon, and leading up to this blood moon, remember, before they show you the blood moon, you got that whole little 3-4 week spurt leading up to it, where they let you know that the moon is changing. Because it's going into this blood moon. When in reality, it's them turning up the frequency to lower the whole frequency of the planet. They turn up the negative frequency of the moon. The moon emits negative energy, right? Anti-photon energy. Remember, we require photon energy. You are full of photon energy. Photons are all in you, all right? That's why you receive food from the sun. You eat the sun's rays because the sun is full of photon energy, just like a plant. That's why it's called photosynthesis. All right. So, but the moon is anti-photon energy. So it's going to affect the planet. And it sure did. And the elites, remember I told y'all about mercenary groups. A lot of this shit, that's not saying that violence doesn't happen in the streets and it's not people that carry out violence. Yes, we carry out violence and help the system too. Yes, we do. But most of the violence that's carried out, you'll be shocked. It's more violence that's carried out that's structured and strategic and planned than just random violence. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want you to know. All right, so check this out. In Chicago, this leading up to the blood moon, it's 2 days before. All right, so basically he was already in the blood moon phase. It's 2 days before. 55 people were shot. 11 killed. May 24th in Chicago. Peep the numbers though. Peep the numbers. 55 people shot, 11 killed. What that add up to? 66. See, they make sure, they send mercenary groups out to make sure shit go as planned. Guess when the shootings took place? Between 5 p.m. Friday and 3 a.m. All right? You can even look at some of the incidents, like even the victims that be strategic. It be strategic. It's not by accident. You feel me? It's not by accident. Like, even down to the people's names. If you want to get deeper, y'all, look this shit up. I can't make it up. Look it up. Start looking up the people that's getting killed in these cities. Just start looking up the gematria of their names and the numbers where they live, their addresses, how old they was, their birth dates. You know what I'm saying? You're going to notice this pattern like, what the fuck? Yeah. All right? Now, when the story come out that 55 people were shot and 11 were killed, what's the first thing that happens in Chicago? Especially when it's being highlighted, it was highlighted. The frequency further drops in Chicago because people that live in Chicago, they become more scared. They go in more pain. All right? These are real people that get shot. You get what I'm saying? They go shoot real people. That's how they make it real. But they send mercenary groups to do it. In the middle of mercenary groups doing this shit, you still got gang wars going on. So this is how they are able to get their numbers they need. But guess what? What I'm saying is them 55 wasn't randoms. Yeah, the gang wars was going on, but them 55 was government mercenaries. So when they got that 55 and killed that 11 to make sure they got the numbers. And they got them in every city. These are all sacrifices that they were doing for the blood moon as well. See what I'm saying? It's all death by numbers, gematria. All right? This is how they harness energy. Because while they do these killings, what you think they do to the bodies? Remember, I told you what happened to actual bodies at funerals. I think I need to make a video on that separately again. All right? What happened to bodies at funerals? But I'm going to play it so y'all can hear it. You feel me? Because I don't know if y'all can see it, but I'll play it so y'all can hear it.
Is in full swing. And WGN Sean Lewis is live at CPD headquarters now with more. Sean?
Ray, Michael, 50 people shot over the weekend in Chicago, 12 of them killed, making this the deadliest weekend so far in 2021. Police Superintendent David Brown saying police alone cannot stop the violence. This weekend, the sobering numbers. More than 50 people shot, 12 killed in Chicago.
Well, right here say 55.
Among them, 15-year-old Dejon Gator, shot in the head and killed by two gunmen as he was on his front porch in Lawndale.
I don't know what the city gonna do about the crime right now. I don't know. I don't believe they're doing
Man.
Will join Chicago police officers in protecting the rights of the victims, families.
If you would have seen, man, listen, if you would have seen where the victim stayed, it said the victim stayed, it's the 6th address. You hear me? Show the 6th address. Like, this shit crazy how the numbers be all over this shit. But anyway, let me move over a little right here. This shit crazy, right? Now, I don't want to go too deep into what happened in Chicago because I want to show you the bigger picture of what happened because of the super blood moon. All right, now we go to the next event. ABC News. Violent Memorial Day weekend, shootings erupt in New York, Miami, and more. Now we know Memorial Day is May 31st. Look. Alright, so y'all can see what I'm reading. Violent Memorial Day weekend, shootings erupt in New York, Miami, and more. This was all after the super blood moon. Pay attention. All this was done to lower the frequency. But I just want you to see how when they do shit, they put their numbers all over it. Alright. Now I want to talk about the shit that happened in Miami. That was definitely the elites. They got people thinking that Pooh Shiesty and them did it. They ain't had nothing to do with Pooh Shiesty. That was a separate event. They didn't have nothing to do with the baby situation. Alright? I already told y'all a lot of these rappers gonna be getting killed and going to jail. They're gonna be coming out with stories saying they either got killed or saying they got locked up with cases that's facing a lot of years because a lot of them was involved in this sex trafficking and this blood drinking. I already told y'all that. A lot of these rappers gonna be getting, my bad, that was somebody had called y'all. But yeah, a lot of people, I told y'all, a lot of these rappers gonna be getting kicked off. I mean, getting locked up. They gonna be saying they was getting locked up, saying they was all of this stuff, saying they died. I told y'all this is coming up because these rappers were involved in the sex trafficking shit, helping the elites. And they don't want to tell y'all that, so they rolling different stories out. You know what I'm saying? Alright? But none of this shit adding up. They just said Lil Loaded killed himself over a girl. Okay, you believe that, really? Man, a superstar can get any chick in the world, he killed himself over a girl. Alright, whatever. Alright, now. But now the baby involved in the shooting, his name coming up and shit, that could potentially get him locked up for a long time. I told y'all, man. Alright, so anyway. Let's focus on Miami, though, and I'm talking about the super blood moon and the things these oppressors have done to lower the vibration. They only created the super blood moon to lower the entire frequency of the planet, of the realm. All right? And that's why we're going to do a mass meditation, too. One day this week. I'm going to pick the day. I'm going to let y'all know the day. But let's talk about one of the events that took place around because of the super blood moon. In Miami-Dade County, Florida, 23 people were shot in a mass shooting outside a banquet hall early Sunday, including 2 who were killed. Look at the numbers. 23. 23. Which is 32 backwards. They love that number. Look at the number. 23. 23, right? Now, pay attention to how many shooters they saying it was, though. They say three shooters got out the van. Pay attention to the numbers. 3 shooters got out the van. All right. Now, and that's in Miami. Now, let's go to Philly. All right. They say in Philly, 16 people were shot between Friday and Monday, including 4 who were killed. Six times 1 is what? 6. All right. 16 people were shot in Philadelphia. Oh yeah, they went and collected. They went and got a lot of blood for this. They went and got a lot of blood. These were mercenary groups they sent to do this to further lower the frequency. All right, so they emitted the blood moon to lower the frequency first, but then they had mercenary groups to go right around and do big hits so they could have big stories to put out, which will further lower the frequency. And that's what's going on. All right, it's working because it's the headlines. It's all people talking about. People scared. People panicking again. And then also they try to use this as another reason to come take people's guns away. All right, because they still want to vaccinate individuals and all of this shit as well. Don't think they still ain't on the motherfucker ass. Don't fall for that, man. We still ain't. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen. The game is cold, man. Pay attention now. All right. So people would never connect this type of shit, you know, because they sleep. They would never connect these dots. You know what I'm saying? They would think this is just random shit, random events. All right? But that was in Philly. All right? In New York, it was a bunch of shootings. All right?